Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Dr. J. I have 3 patients here for you today. One has one ear cleaning, and the next 2 patients have both ears needing cleaned. This is a fairly routine process for us. These aren't huge wax plugs, but it kind of demonstrates what a usual or typical ear cleaning would look like. Usually doesn't take a whole lot of time. They're usually fairly quick and easy. We can get the patients in and out, and it doesn't require a whole lot of intervention. But what we see in all of these 3 patients, what they have in common is not only a wax impaction, but some dry, loose skin that can easily be managed with some ear drops. And one of the things you see very popularly in earwax cleaning videos on YouTube is the use of virgin olive oil, or some people say it's medical grade olive oil. And that's great and all, but it's not the only thing that's out there. There are many different products that are out there that can help patients that have this problem. And most of these items can be found over the counter. You don't need a prescription. And that's things that you can typically find at home already, that you already have. Virgin olive oil is one, mineral oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, Johnson & Johnson's baby oil. And then there's some products over the counter like Debrox, D-E-B-R-O-X. There's a lot of generic earwax softening drops, topical Colace. You've seen here on my channel before, I use a lot of topical Colace. It's just what I came into when I joined and took over this practice here that I'm in now. And it's worked great, and I love it. And oftentimes people ask me why I use Colace, or why I don't use other products in the ear. And it's just what I came into when I came to this practice. They already had it on the shelf, and when I started using it, it worked great, so I had no reason to change it. And I actually find that the Colace cleans up the ear a lot better, because it doesn't leave a whole lot of residual product in the ear when you're done with the cleaning. Also, I'd like to talk to you folks about the YouTube channel in general. This channel here, because it involves earwax, which they consider a body waste product, YouTube significantly demonetizes or offers limited monetization for my videos. I certainly don't make any money doing this. Any funds that I do generate from monetization is very small, and it's just not worth my time. But I've been on YouTube for many years. I have another channel that I use for my family, hunting, fishing, camping, family adventures type stuff. I don't post on it regularly enough for it to be of any interest to anyone. It's just a place where I like to put my family videos when I have time to produce them. But it's gotten to the point now where they just recently shut down the views on my channel. A very distinct change happened, and I actually started losing subscribers. I used to get 750,000 views on here pretty easy in a month, and now it's trickled down to almost nothing. So I appreciate those of you who have subscribed. I appreciate those of you who leave positive comments. Like, the first one that pops into my head is Bev from Toledo. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Thank you very much for leaving positive comments, and all of the rest of you who do the same. I appreciate it. The best way for you to support me at this point in time is, hey, like and subscribe and leave positive comments. So that'll be great. Hopefully the YouTube algorithm will see that, and it'll start showing my video thumbnails a little more often. But moving on here, we're just gently pretty deep in the canal now. We're at that second major turn in the ear canal. Sorry about my thumb there. Just remember my videos, or I should say under my microscope, what I see through my monocles and what you see on the video are just slightly different. And if my thumb gets in the way of the camera, that doesn't mean that I can't see through my monocles or my binocular vision under the microscope. Just a little bit more here in this posterior part of the ear canal wall. A little bit of it picked up with a suction, but the rest of it here we're going to have to clean up with the alligator forceps. These patients, once they get their cleaning done, we have just a real quick discussion on things that they can use in their ear, products they can use in their ear, and that usually resolves their issues. Nice clear eardrum there. Moving on to patient number 3, another scenario, dry skin with cerumen impaction, and this is both ears in this patient. Here's the right ear, and as we go inside, you can see it's a very similar story, just some loose skin and a little bit of cerumen impaction. I have another video coming up soon. I'm going to be producing one on ear candling. I have another video in the past that I've talked about ear candling and what role it may have in a person's life. It certainly does not remove earwax from the ear. But if you've experienced ear candling or are a current user of ear candling, let me know in the comments below just what's been your experience. What would you like to see in a video that covers ear candling? And I'm actually going to experiment a little bit with ear candling, just to kind of show exactly what my thoughts and opinions on it are. I've invested 4 years into med school, 6 years into postgraduate training. I've been practicing for 10 years. Definitely have a lot of time involved, and I think my expertise in the ear subject matter would maybe persuade some people to understand the role that ear candling can be in their life and what it cannot be, so that they understand what's happening when they use an ear candle. All right, that ear cleaned up very well. I'm moving on to the last one here. And this one you can see that it looks like a pile of earwax, but actually it's not. It's actually a layer of skin that's actually been folded up and rolled back over on top of itself. And you can see that rolled edge right there. It's kind of been rolled back in, pushed back in. That's typically from Q-tipping, or if they have a deep earbud or hearing aid that goes deeper in the canal, that can tend to do that. We just gently lift up the skin and pull it out. Now the skin usually just falls apart very easily. It's pretty rare that it'll just come out in one whole piece. It usually starts to fragment fairly easily. This last little piece is actually very satisfying because it came out in a nice big chunk like that, and that's awesome. Nice normal ear canal. Hey, thanks for sticking out to the end. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.